Zoom. But thank you all for coming. We're gonna be starting in 1 minute. I'm just gonna talk about the pieces just for a little bit. We're gonna talk about Non Kesia, Pete, my first song, and then we're gonna go through with the recital. Zoom. But thank you all for coming. We're gonna be starting in 1 minute. I'm just gonna talk about the pieces just for a little bit. We're gonna talk. Okay, so we're gonna go into the first piece, which was written by Bach. So something about this piece is I personally had some issues trying to figure out the interpretation. It's written by an anonymous poet, and it's about saying goodbye. And me, I originally was like, well, this must be saying goodbye to someone passing. But it's actually saying goodbye to someone who's going on to another journey, such as someone leaving for college. In this situation, someone's going to Ansbach, and Ansbach is a rich German town, and they want to wish someone good luck on their journey. But it is bittersweet because someone's leaving you to go on to different things. I hope you enjoy it. So my last intro was not heard, so I'm just gonna do it again. I just wanted to talk about a little bit about the German set, about the German pieces that I'm doing. So Richard Strauss, who was the composer, is a late Romantic German composer, and this set of pieces, Opus 48, is not usually done together, but they do have a very similar theme. This was the first piece from the Vision, which you just heard, is very pleasant. It's called Pleasant Vision, and it's, to me, I always saw it as when you're with someone for a really long time and just being with them, you just feel very at peace. So I tried to exemplify that in the piece, but also the lyrics, if you could really, in the music itself, really makes you feel that peace when you're with someone. The next piece is Ich schwebe, which is I float. So I don't know, it's almost like that giddiness you feel when you're with someone you love. It's like you're floating on air. In the song itself, you'll hear it kind of floats. It goes dun 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 dun. It's almost like you're floating in the air. And Kling Ring is about the explosion of love. When you almost, if you're crushing on someone, or if you just did something that you really love with your partner or with your family, you feel that explosion, like the breaking of earth, like when it's during springtime. And Winter Vaya is just another song. It's like when someone is your fire in winter days. That's what it's called, Winter Dedication. So I hope you enjoy this set. We're going to start with the second song. Okay, so this is the next song is from my French set. It is Ernestina or Ernestina que vas-tu faire. It is from an opera by the same name, Ernestina. And I really don't want to go too much into Chavez de St. George because he was the introduction of my podcast that I started writing because I fell in love with his story. So I'm just gonna give a very small introduction into who Xavier de Saint George is. Xavier de Saint George was the first Black composer, as we know of today, of classical music, and he was a French composer. in France. His mother was a slave, but his father never had a son, so he decided to move him to Paris, where there was no slavery. He was also a fencer, and was a he had his own all black regiment during the French Revolution. But unfortunately, after the French Revolution, because he was so favored by um, King Louis, he they burned all his music, or most of his music, and he was ostracized after the French Revolution, even though he fought in the French Revolution. So most of his music, about half of his music that is believed to be written, is destroyed. The full Ernestine opera, which was his first opera, is only about half of it still survives. So I couldn't even like listen to the whole opera, which is kind of sad. Ernestina itself, the song, is about a woman trying to decide what she's going to do about the man of her life. So she could be with him in death, or she could decide to keep on living and be without him. She goes through so many different emotions, from just being happy that she got to spend time with him at all, to feeling like doesn't, if she can't be with him, she can't even live. So I hope you enjoy it. All right, so it's the last set. I hope you guys enjoyed. It's about 17 minutes left. But the last set is written by Jake Hedgie, who is an American composer who's actually still alive. A little introduction to this piece on how I found this piece is when I was a senior, or even before then when I was in the undergraduate, I always wanted to find different pieces than everyone else was doing. So I happened upon Hedgie for a song called Lessons, which is about 9/11, and I told my undergraduate voice teacher, I want to do these pieces, and she was like, it's too hard for you. So I was like, but I will one day. I brought it up to Dr. Eccles that I wanted to do a set called Into the Fire, and she was like, of course. So here I am. These pieces themselves were written for the Alexander String Quartet for their 25th anniversary, and it was written for a specific singer called Joyce DiDonato, who is a mezzo soprano, which I'm a soprano, but I can hit those notes. So the pieces are written actually from about an actual person named Camille Claudel. She was Auguste Rodin's understudy or student, whichever you want to say in that time. And she was popular in her own right, but because she was a woman and her sculptures were a little more sexual in nature than Rodin's, she never became that popular. So she was never able to live away from his shadow. But unfortunately, we never know how famous she could have been because at a very early age, her brother sent her to an insane asylum, and she had spent the rest of her life, or the last 20, 30 years of her life, at this insane asylum because her brother sent her there. And at that time, women didn't have a lot of rights to be able to sign themselves out. So these pieces are all set as she's going to the asylum, what her thought process is maybe, and she's thinking about her last pieces. These are all sculptures of hers, her most famous sculptures, and those sculptures are relating to things that happened in her past. I hope you enjoy it. get into the last song. So I wanted to thank everyone for coming to listen to me. It was very special because it was a little sad to have recital and to have one person. But it was really great that we can do it this way because a lot of people who couldn't come is able to listen. So I really appreciate it. I do want to say thank you to Dr. Echoes. First of all, she recorded the video for me. So thank you so much. And also for being a wonderful supportive teacher. And thank you to my family and to Ben for being that support and listening to me all the time and and letting me make you give me notes and all those things. I just really appreciate it. So this song is a little bit of a sad song. This is supposed to be 1929, which was 20 years after being in an insane asylum and having no one visit her. One of her friends, Jessie, who used to be in the studio with her when she used to do sculpturing, came to visit. So thank you again for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, guys, thanks again for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave comments if you want to leave comments.